This is the University of Illinois Springfield Prairie Star Spotlight on Sports Radio 1450. Listen every week at this time as Roop talks UIS athletics. Here's the Roop with this week's Prairie Star Spotlight on Sports Radio 1450, 107.1 FM, and sportsradio1450.com.
We are joined in studio for this week's Prairie Star Spotlight by Director of Athletics Kim Pate and Associate Athletic Director for External Operations, Paul Cabas. And, Paul, let's start with you. Welcome. This is your first time here. Nothing like you dreamed, was it?
Oh, it's incredible. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Excited to be here.
Talk about the big event you have coming up at tomorrow's basketball game.
Yeah, Saturday's big for us. This is the second year that we've done our Springfield Day where we've honored our first citizens. As you know, obviously in the area with the First Citizen Award that was awarded just 2 months ago. Excited about having Dan Cadigan, our 2014 recipient. He's going to be there with us.
And a listener to this program.
Correct. I'm sure he's listening right now.
One of the 6 or 7, I think.
We got about 13 total First Citizens that are going to be out there,
wow,
which is a great showing. Just folks who have done an incredible amount of service and leadership for the Springfield area. So we're excited to have them out there. They'll get a chance to meet with our Chancellor, Chancellor Cook, to get a chance to go over some issues and have a little meeting before the game. And then we'll honor every single one of them at halftime, just kind of a way to let folks know how important these people have been. And
you're going to honor them, but you guys, you want some feedback from these people that have been involved so they can kind of help out what you guys have going on, right?
Yeah, this is just a way to get a lot of them on campus as well, too. These folks have been so instrumental in Springfield and the growth of it, and just talking with them throughout the last couple of weeks, they said, hey, I haven't been out on campus in a long while. So for us, it's a great opportunity to show all the fans that are there, hey, these are some important folks that helped build the foundation of this city, and then also let them know that this is a way that we can get them back out on campus and keep them involved with UIS, and then let them know what we got going on in our athletics department.
And Jim, one thing to interject, this really is in partnership with this SJR. We've got Rich coming out from the SJR and possibly some other folks, and they're actually conducting a community focus group discussion about ways that they can continue to improve the community. And so the dialogue that will happen before the game really is going to be facilitated with Rich, as well as I think Paul O'Shea is really the spearhead, and then the chancellor in there. So I think that's positive for things like that to happen on a university campus.
And that's in advance of the 3:00 game.
That's right.
Men's basketball game against Milliken.
Correct.
And these are really special people.
They are.
The Copley First Citizens. I know Paul O'Shea very well and some of the other ones, but these aren't just people that take lightly being Springfield residents.
Yeah.
They're convinced that this place can be better, and they're going to do something about it.
Yeah, there's no better way to represent the city of Springfield, and then we also want to get our local schools involved through this event. We got Springfield High School. They have a local group, 7 and Senators, who's going to be singing the national anthem for us. So that's just a nice way to highlight this city and all the folks. And with a team that's relatively local, Milliken, we think it's a great opportunity for folks to come on out, whether if they're coming straight from Springfield or if they got to travel a little bit. Kids will get in free to the game. Anyone who wears any Springfield gear to the game will get some free popcorn for us as well. So it'll be a great opportunity to kind of highlight what we have going on, excited about the direction of our men's basketball program, and then honoring the history of the city through these great folks.
We kind of backed into this, Paul, but tell me what your responsibilities as Associate Athletic Director for External Operations, what kind of things fall under your domain?
Yeah, this event on Saturday is a big one for us. Anytime that we can touch the public is huge. Within my domain, it's corporate sponsorships, some fundraising. Not that we're asking these folks for money by any means tomorrow. It's just more of a way to thank them. So my job is more of a way to connect the community, make sure Kim and the rest of our department is able to make these connections and then go out and raising our money for our student athletes. So from a scholarship standpoint and then a budgetary standpoint, they can have an outstanding student athlete experience at the Division II level.
You're a Central Illinois guy. Mm-hmm. You're an Illinois Wesleyan grad and got a master's at Illinois State. Where does a guy get his desire to go the direction professionally that you've gone? Yeah,
for me, getting the opportunity to play baseball at Illinois Wesleyan, I knew I wanted to be involved in sports in any capacity.
What position were you?
I was a pitcher.
Were you pretty good?
I was a righty, so if I was a lefty, I would have been a whole heck of a lot better. But I had a great experience on the Division III level. It's outstanding. And then getting a chance to, for me, it's rewarding when you see student athletes excel, whether if it's in the classroom, if it's on the court. and most importantly, getting that degree after their 4 years. So for me, that was the thing. I knew I wasn't going to play professionally, so to answer your question, no, I was not that good. But I knew I was going to have the opportunity to where hopefully I can affect these young men and women to where they can have the best experience possible and hopefully win some conference championships, graduate, and have an outstanding experience here.
Where's home for you?
Bloomington Normal. Grew up there, went to undergrad, went to grad school there, spent way too much time.
Where'd you go to high school?
Went to Central Catholic.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
And athletic family, because I know that name.
My sisters are much, much more athletic than I am. They both played collegiate volleyball at the Division I level at Illinois State. So they get all their athletic ability, and I'm the one who has to work hard. They were much more athletic and much better looking than myself, to be honest with you.
Is your goal someday to sit in Kim's chair? I don't necessarily mean her. I mean right now, but to be an athletic director.
Yeah, it is, and get a chance to work with Kim's been outstanding. Getting a chance to learn from somebody like herself who puts in that outstanding work on a day by day basis. That is my ultimate goal, and it's a great role to have. The things that you get to do and impact these student athletes, she does a great job for us, and going to continue to move the bar for us.
Kim, how important is it to have? You've got to put your trust in guys like Paul, in the people that you're working with. Tell me what kind of addition he's been to the staff, and how much more comfortable you feel now handing stuff off to him than you did 3-4 months ago. Oh,
absolutely. Well, certainly I think when you're an AD, you have to be able to have a good team around you. And Paul really is that kind of finishing piece that we've been able to add here in the last little bit. We have a great staff down the hallway, but associate athletic director is sometimes, privy to about everything that goes on, and sometimes you just as an AD need to be able to bounce stuff off of someone, and Paul's great. He really has got a good perspective on things. He offers that to me, and I think he's got a bright future. He is just, has a good perspective on the student athlete experience and what's core to, I guess what's core to us as a Division II program. So when we recruited him, actually, I liked that he had aspirations to be an AD because I think that would allow me to develop him, to a higher level and certainly try to keep him as long as I can. But I think he's got great potential. He's doing a good job for us.
And speaking of adding, this was a big week on campus.
It was.
You announced basically 4 new programs, kind of all of them with most of the same people, but you added cross country for sure for next fall, and then women's track will start next spring, in the spring of 16 rather, and then you're going to have men's track too. What went into that whole process, if you could?
Yeah, we've been exploring this for a couple of years actually, and I know I even picked your brain a couple months ago, but
you didn't get much.
I got enough. You were great. And I know you have an affinity with cross country. I know you got your start here in sports around this, covering cross country. So, to be honest, whenever you do something like this, although cross country and track and field, just to give a perspective, is probably one of the easiest sports to add. I mean, from a cost standpoint, it's probably one of the most cost effective, especially if you're doing a distance program. So it's not a hard sell, but we did take, time to research and evaluate whether it was a good fit for our university. We certainly got feedback from our staff all the way, up to the chancellor's office. And we have an intercollegiate athletics committee that was instrumental in helping us think through it and make sure that ultimately that it will enhance the university and the student athlete experience would be of, top notch. So one of our positions as we looked at this is we didn't want to add anything where it wouldn't be a good student-athlete experience that wouldn't enhance the university. So we want to make sure that we could provide the resources to support that.
One of the questions that was asked when I was at the press conference, somebody said, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, how can you justify adding programs when there other cuts are being made? In athletic administration, you guys look at it, especially on the Division II level, you look at it a little bit differently, don't you? This isn't the expense that you're putting out. You're bringing more students, more tuitions into campus.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's hard when you're looking at the media where schools are dropping sports, and here we are adding sports, and there's just an assumption that athletics is not cost effective. I think the Division II model is very different from Division I. It's a partial scholarship model, and so very few student athletes are on full rides. And at the end of the day, athletics as an enrollment strategy really is perceived very differently as far as, revenue streaming athletic programs in Division I. So you're talking about new students that wouldn't otherwise come to a university or college because they want to go somewhere where they can do both, where they can pursue their education and participate in a sport. And so what we're looking at is new students that are going to add to the enrollment. And, to start out, the average athletic scholarship will be around $3,000, spread across the roster. And when you look at the total cost of, tuition, room and board and fees, and then the cost to operate the program, it's positive revenue for the university.
And you shouldn't have a problem developing a cross-country course out in the territory that you guys are located, should you?
No, we are blessed there, and I think we have a great opportunity to be able to develop, a rich training environment, not only for our student athletes, but perhaps even the community. I think we have plenty of acreage to develop a course, and I think that's something that we'll look at right away.
You made the announcement Tuesday, and you it seems an accelerated timeline. You want to have a coach hired by the end of January. How have things gone in your search for a coach?
Well, Jim, I'm going to be honest with you. I am so backed up on my phone calls and my emails. I haven't been in this bad a shape for a while. I have just been flooded with high quality applicants, with a lot of questions, with some enthusiasm, some excitement, and I haven't began to sift through those yet. So we just opened the position the night that we announced. Wednesday night we opened it. I already have close to 40 applicants. So I'm really excited about the pool. I think it's already starting to shape up. So I think that gives me great, encouragement that we can do something really special here with a distance-focused track cross-country program.
At one point when you and I talked, you weren't sure about the track part of it. You thought maybe develop the cross-country program and then see how that goes, and then go to track. What made you go with the distance favored track program?
Well, I continue to hear the same thing over and over again as I asked, coaches in Division II and just throughout college athletics, the pros and cons of starting just a cross-country program and then adding track later, or what are you gaining or losing? Unanimously, every person I asked said you really need to look at the track component. Distance track is a good way to go when you don't have a facility. Nobody told me to do it without, just straight out do cross country. Everyone said that it'll be difficult to recruit quality student athletes because they want to do both. They are 4 separate sports, and actually, technically, we could argue there's 6 separate sports when you add the indoor component. But they come through high school doing, all 3, and they want that experience at the collegiate level. They don't just want to run cross country in the fall. So that was sort of it was a no-brainer for us that we needed to do both.
What kind of facilities update? We talked about a cross-country course, which is kind of easy, but if you're going to have a track team and you're going to get into indoor track and you're going to have throwing facilities, if you eventually get the throwers, if that's one of the first steps, you're going to have to do that. Do you have a timeline set out for that, for facilities improvements?
Well, I think what we're going to do, we are working on a master plan that will look out 20 years, to be honest, to see what future facility enhancements we would need to make. And within that master planning, we have a track, we have, the throwing areas. We also have an indoor field house that would accommodate at a minimum training. And so we are looking at the planning side of things, but as far as a timeline, what we are going to do is reevaluate, I think, between year 3 and 5 and determine, at that point where we want to go with the program. We might realize that we can be more successful on the distance side, and we may want to continue to focus there. I think, Southern Indiana has had a very successful distance program. I want to say 18 years that coach has been there. And they still don't have a track, and they still have great success. And we have one of our local Springfield kids competing in nationals, this weekend, I believe. Right. Yeah. Tyler Pence. So yeah. I think we're going to reevaluate, as we build the program and we develop the program. And to be honest, I'd like to get a coach here and get their perspective too.
Yeah. Paul Cabas, back to you with some Stars Club stuff. You guys have any? You got what's on the horizon for the Stars Club?
Yeah, we obviously have some important events coming up. With tomorrow's the First Citizen Day and the partnership with the SJR. Excited about that. The next one for us, we do have a Stars Club caravan. That's just a chance for the local community opportunity to meet our coaches. We'll have our men's coach Bill Walker and our women's coach Chad Oletsky out at Brick House West next Thursday, December 11th, 6 to 8 p.m. It's just the opportunity to come listen to these coaches speak, talk about the foundations they're trying to build with these programs, and then just honestly interacting with our fans. Anytime that we can go out and see our folks, they come out to see us out at track as much as possible, so we want to go see them. We got that, and then another one that we got coming up from another basketball perspective, we have the Wounded Warrior Project coming out to us on December 14th. Our men's team's playing Kentucky Wesleyan at 3 p.m. that day, and that's just our opportunity to honor all the folks who've been involved in this Wounded Warrior Project. They do an outstanding job on the national level, and we're excited about the folks who are going to come out that day. So December 11th for the caravan and December 14th for the Wounded Warrior Project.
What's the reception for the caravans been? Have you gotten to have any stops yet since you've been on board?
Yeah, it's been good. We did our first one out at Lake Point, obviously right down the road. It's been great. We got some folks who are extremely dedicated to our fan base and our student support, but as you know, it's continuing to grow it on the Division II level. We need to spread our message as much as possible. So being at places in town like Lake Point Grill for the first one and Brick House West for the second one, it's going to be great. We're looking forward to it.
Is fundraising tough?
It's not easy. It's not easy. No, it's great for me. I enjoy the fact that I tell folks my job is outstanding on a daily basis. I got to talk to people about sports. There's not much else. You're doing it right now. There's not much else wrong with that. So. Yeah. And when you have the student athletes who get their degrees and graduate and do the things that they're doing on the competitive surface as well, that makes your job a whole heck of a lot easier. We have some great kids, the 180 student athletes that we have, give or take. They do a great job for us, and the folks who are giving back to them are very passionate about them getting their degrees and that student athlete experience.
Kim, I want to bump back to you. You're looking for a volleyball coach.
I am. That's right. Coach Rook is actually, she shipped out to California yesterday. I really appreciate the work she did while she was here. We wish her all the best. But we just posted our volleyball coach position on Monday, and getting great response for that. Has some really quality candidates coming through. A little difficult managing both searches at the same time. That also adds to my email and my phone.
That's why you have
That's
Paul.
Right. And Paul actually is chairing the volleyball search, and appropriate because he has that volleyball connection with his sisters playing volleyball. Mm-hmm. So I think he's going to do a great job chairing that search.
Yeah, we're excited about it. There'll be some good ones.
Yeah. You also, I don't know if we've talked, your Hall of Fame. How did all the Hall of Fame stuff go? What kind of feedback have you heard about that?
Nothing but positive, Jim. It couldn't have been better. I mean, we have a list of things we can get better at, obviously, but I just think it was outstanding to have all the alumni back on campus and Coach Iden Donaldson and all, really all the people that were involved. It really was an opportunity for us to get a sense for us to, personally get a sense for, the tradition and the history and the stories. And we heard a lot of stories that night. But just great to get our alumni engaged. We had, upwards of 275 people, and looking forward to next year's Hall of Fame as well.
As always, you can get official UIS gear at shopuisgear.com, and tickets are just $6 for single games for basketball. And men's basketball hosts 3 more games during the month of December. You can get out there. Or you can just call me because I'm a season ticket holder, and I'd be happy to share. Maybe we'll have some contests on the press box, and you can win UIS tickets. And if you're looking to support UIS athletics, you can join the Stars Club. Call Paul Cabas at the UIS campus, and he'll take care of you. Men's basketball tomorrow, 3 o'clock against Milliken. Kids get in free. Anyone wearing anything Springfield-related is discounted to $3, and you receive free popcorn. Next Tuesday, there's men's basketball with St. Catherine. Student Athlete Advisory Committee is hosting a Pack the Place America night, and they're wanting fans to wear red, white, and blue to the game. And then Wednesday the 10th, the women's basketball team is home against Robert Morris Peoria, and that game will be live here on Sports Radio 1450. Tim and John will have a call of that one. So, Kim Pate, Paul Cabas, thank you very much for coming in and sharing the words according to UIS. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. We appreciate it.
All right, back after these.